Elara only wanted a shortcut home. Instead, behind a park tree, she heard two men whisper about a dirty cop and a black bag too heavy to be closed. When the cold-eyed officer saw her and let her go, why did that feel worse than being caught? Elara's shift ended like a door slamming shut. 12 hours of fluorescent lights, forced smiles, and aching muscles, all of it collapsed into a single, heavy realization. It was finally over. 200 hours. Friday. Elara wanted none of it. She just wanted her bed. Her feet throbbed inside her sneakers, each step sending a dull pulse up her legs. Her shoulders felt carved from stone. Across the street, the park stretched out a dark, uneven patch against the glowing city. A shortcut. 10 minutes saved. Normally, she wouldn't even consider it. Not at night, not alone. But tonight, she saw runners, a couple with a dog, and the mundane glow of cell phone screens. It looked normal, or normal enough. Elara exhaled, stepping off the curb before better judgment could catch up. Halfway through, her body gave up. Her back tightened, and a sharp pulse of pain shot through her calves. She slowed, then stopped, her breath catching as exhaustion hit her all at once. God, she muttered under her breath. Elara moved off the main walkway and dropped onto a cold metal bench, partially hidden behind the massive trunk of an ancient tree. It felt safe, secluded, but not entirely cut off. The trunk was wide enough to block a direct view from the path, but the sides were open. Then, a voice slid through the air. Whoa, they've already started looking into you. Elara froze. You should have cleaned that up earlier, the voice continued. It was closer now, coming from the other side of the massive tree. Elara shifted just enough to angle her gaze without turning her head. Two figures stood near the path. One was leaning with a posture that was far too casual. The other seemed taut, wired. Thanks, a second voice replied. It was higher, thinner, like a wire pulled too tight. The second man moved, dragging a heavy black bag forward. The way it scraped against the gravel suggested a weight that wasn't just clothes. I brought you something better, he said, forcing a jagged lightness into his tone. There's more where that came from. That wasn't the deal. The second man laughed a sharp, wrong sound. Come on, he said. You're a dirty cop. What's better than money? The words hit Elara like a physical blow. Her heart slammed against her ribs, the sound so violent she was sure they could hear it. She decided to mind her own business. That conversation didn't belong in the light of day. Shut up, the first man hissed. It was a sharp, controlled sound. The man turned his head, scanning the area with a hunter's precision. Elara's fingers tightened around the edge of the metal bench. Don't say that again, the man said, the frustration in his tone obvious. Leave. The second man didn't hesitate. He turned and walked away, his steps quick and uneven. As he moved, the angle of the tree shifted. If he looked back, he would see her. Her blind spot was gone. Panic rattled through her. Slowly, carefully, she reached for her AirPods. If she looked like just another tired girl checking out of the world, maybe she'd be invisible. Then, a shadow moved. It stretched across the ground beside her, shifting as it approached. Her breath caught. The shadow paused, then it moved again, passing her. Elara squeezed her eyes shut, her chest tightening as she forced herself to take a shallow breath. It's fine. It's over. He's leaving. Slowly, she opened her eyes and turned just slightly. Their eyes met. Everything stopped. The first thing she noticed was how cold his gaze was. Calculating, measuring. He was tall, broad, dressed in dark sportswear that blended too easily into the shadows. His face was sharp and unreadable. He didn't look surprised. He didn't look angry. He just looked at her as if she were a puzzle he was already solving. Elara broke eye contact instantly, her thumb moving across her phone screen in a meaningless, frantic motion. She pretended desperately to be absorbed in a notification that didn't exist. Her heartbeat was a deafening drum in her ears. Seconds stretched into a terrifying eternity. Then nothing. No voice. No movement. When she finally risked looking up again, he was already walking away. There was no rush in his step, no hesitation. He simply blended back into the night, disappearing as if he had never been there at all. Elara didn't move. She couldn't, because somehow, The fact that he had seen her and simply walked away felt much worse than if he had stayed. Adam didn't know exactly what she had overheard, but he could read the fallout of a secret in the way her body betrayed her. It was written in the frantic tremor of her hands against the park bench and the shallow, jagged rhythm of her breathing. She was hunting for an escape while trying to remain invisible, the classic, doomed choreography of prey pretending it hadn't realized the predator was already there. He didn't linger in the open. He dissolved into a jagged slice of a shadow just off the main walkway. He positioned himself with precision, a vantage point where he could catalog every beat of her heart while remaining nothing more than a dark smudge in her peripheral vision. And he watched. The girl stood. She adjusted her shoes with clumsy haste before stepping back onto the path. She kept looking back. It wasn't the obvious, head-swinging scan of the paranoid, but a subtle, desperate twitch of the neck every few yards. Her eyes would dart behind her, find nothing, and snap forward again, her pace quickening with every step. Adam stepped out from the shadows. He trailed her at a calculated distance, his footfalls silent and rhythmic. Ahead, the girl's head turned one last time, and she saw him. Her body stiffened as if struck, her eyes widening into white-rimmed circles of pure, unadulterated panic. She froze for a heartbeat, a deer in the high beams, and then she broke. She ran. Her footsteps hammered against the pavement in a frantic, uneven percussion. She didn't look back. She just threw herself toward the faint, neon glow of the park exit, toward the city, toward the witnesses. Adam didn't change his expression, but his speed doubled. His stride lengthened, his boots eating up the distance. The exit was close, too close. Beyond the iron gates, the city exploded with noise and light, a teeming mass of humanity thick enough to swallow her whole. He couldn't let her reach the crowd. His muscles coiled as he pushed for the final sprint. She reached the sidewalk, her body colliding with the bustling rhythm of the street. The crowd closed around her instantly, a sea of indifferent faces. Adam slowed. He slipped into the stream of pedestrians, his posture relaxing, his face becoming a mask of normalcy. Then, he reached her. His hand shot forward, his fingers locking around her upper arm with the force of a vice. Tight. Absolute. She gasped, her body jerking as if she'd been electrocuted. Leave this girl alone. An older man stood there, dressed in a formal overcoat that looked out of place in the chaos. He was cautious but resolute. He had seen the contact. Adam smiled. It was a warm, disarming expression that didn't reach his eyes. I just want to give her keys back, he said, his voice smooth and reassuring. His grip loosened just a fraction, a tactical show of good faith. He reached into his pocket and produced a small set of keys, dangling them between two fingers. They fell in the park. Elara was barely standing. Her vision was a blurred smear of city lights, her chest heaving as she fought for oxygen. Tears sat heavy on her lashes, and her entire frame was racked by a tremor she couldn't control. She knew those weren't her keys. The old man hesitated. He looked at the keys, then at the trembling girl, then back at Adam's calm, patient face. I think she just got a bit scared, Adam added with a light, self-deprecating chuckle. You know how the park gets after dark. My apologies for the scare, miss. The tension left the old man's shoulders. Yes, yes, he murmured, nodding to himself. You should try to calm down, miss. It's all right. He gave Elara one last, uncertain glance before stepping back into the flow of the crowd. Just like that, her lifeline was gone. Elara watched him vanish into the sea of strangers. She turned back to Adam, her voice a fragile, dying thing. I just want to go home. Adam looked at her. There was no victory in his gaze, no cruelty, no heat. Just a cold, terrifying void. He didn't answer. His hand closed around her arm again, tighter this time, the pressure bruising. He pulled. It wasn't a violent jerk. It was a steady, irresistible force that gave her no choice but to follow. Elara tried to struggle, her feet dragging against the concrete as a new wave of panic surged. Help, she tried to cry out, but the word was a fractured, weak sound that was instantly buried by a passing siren. Adam didn't even look at her. To the world, they were just a couple navigating a disagreement. He kept walking, and the city, loud, alive, and utterly indifferent, let him take her.